All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Crystal Garvin and I'm here with Stephanie Kutterer, and we're going to be talking about her journey to Diamond. Woohoo! So that is much coveted, that spot. It's one that everybody attains to and looks forward to. We look at the compensation plan and people always are like, wow, Diamond, that would be something else. That would be amazing, right? And then when it happens to you, as Stephanie will tell you, it's like, I just did the things and kept doing them. It's still me. It's just consistency. So we're going to talk a lot about how she got to where she's at, what she has persevered through, and a little bit about her personally too, just so those who don't know her well can get to know her a little bit. So welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here and being willing to do this with us.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I'm nervous too. Like I want this to be really meaty and inspiring for people. So I hope it is. I'm excited to be here. Very excited.
Well, anytime I've ever heard you train or speak, it's always inspiring and always meaty, and people are taking notes 100 miles a minute. So I have no doubt of that. We always appreciate so much when you share your wisdom and tips with us. So, just quickly, by way of intro, tell us a little bit about yourself personally, who you are and your family, and that kind of thing.
So I've been homeschooling my kids for about 5 years. I was a paralegal for about 20 before dōTERRA. I was homeschooling and working as a paralegal and doing dōTERRA at one point, which was crazy. I've lived in 4 different states, so I'm in Texas now, but I met Crystal in Greensboro years ago at a Bible study outside of dōTERRA. Um, and I guess that's kind of, had a lot of adversity growing up, so I think I'm going to just kind of weave that into my story because I feel like that has a lot to do with really the faith that, when you go through a lot of adversity, it's kind of the key to being able to overcome adversity in other areas of your life as you move through life too. So it can either kind of hold you back or it can help propel you forward. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure a lot of us can identify with that. So tell us when and how did doTERRA come into your life and what made you decide to pursue it as a business?
I think Crystal, you probably reached out to me about oils. I was pretty skeptical. I know you remember that in the beginning. And I've been hearing about oils in a mom's group. My best friend in North Carolina said, you have to get these oils. She's a person that researches everything. And I was like, okay, I'll try these oils. But I was still really skeptical and I just started using them for our family. And I think the thing that actually really kind of built my belief was other people's stories. I had my own, our kids, we started using them for a lot of things in the home. But I was still skeptical, was hearing what they were doing for other people. And then it's funny how God works. So one day I was trying to get rid of something on my face and I put oregano. I was following Crystal's directions, but really not properly. It wasn't her fault, it was mine. So I put oregano on a Band-Aid, put it over my face, went to sleep with it. Imagine, I know, you guys that know oregano. Woke up with a perfectly burned Band-Aid square on my cheek. And then I was looking for oils to help heal my skin because I had just burned my face. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to have a scar forever. My mom remembers this too. And then I was looking for, the reason I'm telling you this, because I was actually looking for a wellness advocate in my area because I'm in Texas and Crystal and my friend and everybody else in our upline was in North Carolina. So I found an advocate. I was like, I need somebody, I need helichrysum, I need, oils to help heal my skin. And so I ended up meeting somebody, a wellness advocate on a totally different team. It was a huge blessing and godsend, and she really gave me a vision for generosity in the business. But she helped me with oils, and then she also told me how well she was doing in the business. And she just started 6 months before. And I kind of an entrepreneurial mindset. I'm always looking for ways to earn income so I can stay home with my kids. That was always my goal. And I was like, well, why don't I do that? I'm not making as much money as a paralegal at the time from home. And so I really jumped in. It was 2015. I jumped in. I remember reaching out to Crystal and she gave me the script and I was terrified. I remember looking at the script and I was like, I have to talk for 45 minutes in front of people. And it just seemed so overwhelming. But I decided to jump in and do it and cheated along the way. Like I played a video one time of somebody else teaching because I didn't want to do it. I was too scared. But they enrolled anyway. So that was kind of my start, just really scared, but really just kind of jumping in with both feet. And I just figured it out along the way, I guess.
Yeah, it's so funny looking back at all of these little details, and I think that's good for people to pick up on if you didn't catch it. Like she was really skeptical of the oils, and then she had a negative oil experience. And I'm thinking this person, I knew she had another friend on my team, so I was trying not to interfere at that point. I knew she had worked with someone else who introduced her to oils, and she was in my group, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this person is going to run away from not only oils, but she'll definitely never consider the business, right? And so seeing her as Diamond now, it's funny looking back on those early days when we were all trying to figure it out. And
Yeah.
it was a whirlwind for me at that time too. So I know I wasn't offering the kind of service I should have because my local team and my family were keeping me so busy. And so it's such a blessing that she ended up coming into this anyway and on
Yes.
kind of on her own as well. So you just never know about anyone. You cannot
No.
judge, even if they don't have an awesome oil experience right out of the
Yeah.
gate. That doesn't mean that they can't and won't. So that's important to remember too, because I didn't know back then that the right way to respond would have been, I'm sorry that didn't work out for you, but I know that oils can still help you. Would you be willing for me to send you some samples of something else to try, or to write down the directions for how to use oregano to remove something properly? So,
Well, it's you learn the most, I think, from the negative experiences. So I make sure I tell people to dilute oregano, and
yes,
all the
you'll
safe
never
things,
forget
right?
that.
I will never forget that. I had to wear a Band-Aid on my face for a month. That was not fun.
Yeah. Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
But fast forward to now, I'm sure everybody kind of wants to know, what does it feel like to be Diamond, to be here now?
I actually feel kind of speechless even when you sent that question. I was like, it's shocking. It feels amazing. It's like I was just ecstatic. It's like you are the same person, but you just achieved this huge goal that you're trying for, but here it is. It's just, I don't know, it's just an amazing, incredible, absolutely incredible feeling. It really is. When you work so hard for something and there's a little seed of doubt in there that's like, am I gonna get there? When you finally get there, it just feels so good. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
amazing. And I know that'll be inspiring, but you mentioned you've worked really hard. We know that. And you've had some really amazing achievements along the way. This is obviously not your first big accomplishment. You've earned incentive trips, you've traveled with doTERRA, you're a Prime Meridian founder, you have finished Diamond Club, you've been the top enroller on my team and several uplines above me more times than I can count. So kind of tell us what it's like to accomplish those things. Do you have any favorite accomplishments or even memories from any of those things along the way?
So Achiever is in my top five, which probably isn't a surprise. So I love achieving things, but I have never achieved so much in my life as I have with doTERRA. And every single time, every single time it's shocking. Every single time it feels amazing. It feels, I never lose the freshness of it. I mean, so recently, Crystal, you sent me an oil for top and roller. I still love it. I still love getting that. Um, but Prime Wellness Club was the biggest shocker because I remember at leadership, they were talking about it. And I remember looking, I think I probably looked at Angela and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going for that. It's another thing. And I also felt like it was impossible. Because I'm looking at the sea of, I don't even know how many thousands of people were there, of incredible, amazing leaders. And I thought, I do not have a chance. And, but there was that part of me that was like, but maybe. So then I finally saw the standings. And I think I don't know where I was, maybe 50. I don't know what it was. And I was like, wow, I'm not that far. And then I started just kicking in gear. And that was when you saw like the 38 enrollments a month and all that kind of stuff. Because Prime Wellness was really about enrollments, personal enrollments. And so I really had to go after that. And I kept moving on and on and up. And I just, to this day, I was just shocked that I landed and ended up number 8. I was like, how was I number 8 with all of these incredible people? So it really blows my mind. It really does. I still feel like I know who I am and I know who I was, and I know all the insecurities and things that I've come up against and fears, and where I started, which was from scratch, and it's just an amazing feeling. So when the Prime Wellness Club was a huge shocker, and it just really drives home the idea that nothing is really impossible. It really isn't. I really felt like it was, and it wasn't. So just really encouraging others that are listening that really nothing is. It's really just a matter of doing the work, and getting yourself there.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm sure not a lot of people on our team have been on the incentive trips either. And I know you would highly recommend that you would say it's very much worthwhile, right?
Yeah. So I know, like, first of all, the scenery is amazing. You get to go to Hawaii for free. Like, that's on my bucket list, and different places in Mexico and stuff. And you get to see Emily Wright and Dr. Hill and things like that, and all these incredible leaders. Having breakfast with Teresa Harding. That was really cool. My husband was playing volleyball with her, and he had no idea who she was. I'm like, "You're playing volleyball with Teresa Harding?" He's like, "Who's that?" So, but I think my very favorite thing about those trips is the connections. It's the relationships. It's the instant bonds that you make with people because you're like-minded, and that they last. So every time I go to another event and I see one of those people, it's almost like you're seeing family, and it's like a reunion. Even though I only maybe spent a little bit of time with them, there's just this instant connection, and I just love that. I love it. I love all the sisters that I have in dōTERRA now.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think we experience a little bit of that at convention.
Yes.
There's nothing like being in a tropical location, kind of in a vacation feeling, getting to play volleyball with those
Yes.
people and sit around a campfire and in a pool. So that's awesome. Well, let's break down some of the things about your journey that we can really see might help others figure out, like, how did you get to this place, and kind of just break down the journey a bit. So what do you feel like have been some of the biggest obstacles or things that you've had to push through and grow in the areas that you needed to grow to get where you are today?
So I think the biggest things for me were really rooted in just the adversity I mentioned from my childhood. Just experienced a lot of rejection in my life, a lot of betrayal. There's abuse in my history. And so that really makes for a very insecure person. And somebody who's afraid of rejection, it really caused me, even as a young adult, I went through that. And it really caused me to pull within myself. Like, actually, when I met you, Crystal, like, I had really withdrawn a lot in myself. And so when this business was presented and I jumped into it, I really feel like it had to be like a Holy Spirit, like supernatural moment. Because I look back and I'm like, what in the world would cause me to jump into something that I was so scared of? Like, my biggest fear, of dealing with rejection potentially and public speaking and all of that. So that was really tough. Like, and I still, to this day, I don't like rejection, the feelings of inadequacy, the loneliness, when you're building and I know a lot of you will get this, you're building and you feel like you're kind of alone. And that's really hard to push through. The discouragement of, when you see people walk away, that doesn't feel good. Feeling like maybe you're on a hamster wheel and not moving forward. There were a lot of moments like that, especially when you're like, man, I'm working really hard. And when other people look at you and you're like, you're not diamond yet. And, it's like, no, and I'm working hard and I'm not there yet. And you feel like you're just, am I going to get there? So it's just, those are the things that I feel like, those are the places where people quit, where they have the discouragement, where they feel inadequate, where they feel lonely. I love that picture, if you guys have seen it, of that guy like chipping away towards the diamond. And the one guy turned around and stopped right before he gets to the diamonds when he's mining for diamonds. And I love that picture because you never know when your breakthrough is going to happen. You have to just keep pushing through. But I had a huge learning curve. I'm not a learner. Learner is 34 on my strengths list. So I feel like that kind of slowed my process quite a bit. So kudos to the learners out there. I feel like you'll probably go a lot faster than I did. But I'm not a learner. I'm not a strategist. So I had to really just kind of learn by doing. And I feel like it kind of probably slowed my process quite a bit. So if you are new and listening, I just encourage you to kind of soak up all of the training you can right from the get-go, because it'll help you move forward faster. I had to make a lot of mistakes along the way. And even simple things like follow up with your new customers and have a wellness consult. I mean, it's simple things that I just didn't do, and I feel like it slowed my process. So, pushing through those personal insecurities, that can be the biggest hurdle in this business. And we can either keep moving forward, grow in those areas, seek training, personal development, or we can quit. And this is where I see the rubber meets the road. People will either quit or they'll move forward. And the people that achieve success are the ones that were able to work through those personal struggles.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. And I think it's hard not to compare, but it's really important to remember not to, because you don't know what everyone else's journey has been like. And I remember there were times we had calls and we talked about, like, how did this person get here? How did this person get to this rank so much faster? And I've been working so hard. And I remember thinking, well, let's look at this person's like business and life experience. And we kind of chatted about that, because everyone has been through different things, and you went through some hard things and you had to overcome fear of speaking and a lot of insecurities. And a lot of the growth and success in this business is right between the two ears, right? We talk about it's your mindset, it's in your mind. And for me personally, a lot of people would ask me that because it would sound unrealistic. And honestly, it is a little unrealistic to get to Diamond as quickly as I did. But I would tell people I did network marketing for 8 years, and I had a really good company that strongly emphasized learning about network marketing and doing it well, even though it ended up not being the right opportunity for me long term. So you think about 8 years, that's like I got a master's degree in network marketing before I ever started dōTERRA. So we can't compare, because we don't know what other people's journeys have been, and what matters is where you're at and how you're going to move forward in your own journey.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, we only see people's highlight reel for the most part, especially on Facebook and places like that. We don't see the years of struggle that it took for them to get to that point. And that's really important in us, not comparing ourselves to other people, because we don't know the struggles. We don't know what people had to go through to get there. And, it's just comparison is the thief of joy. So it's really going to just rob us of the joy that we're experiencing in our own business or moving forward if we're thinking, and I did a lot of comparing. I'm the chief of comparing. So, with why am I not there sooner? Why is it taking me so long? But I feel like that is an important story to share with other people that may feel that way. Like, why is it taking so long? But I had to go through a lot of things to get to where I'm at, and those were all important, and they needed to be done. And I feel like I can be a better leader now because of the things I went through and the things I did maybe not so well. So now I can say to my builders, don't do this, and this is why. We learn better when we mess up. I feel like we learn more when we maybe don't do it the very best way that we could. So it's all good now. I'm appreciative of all those things that I've learned along the way, for sure.
Yeah. And like you said, then it helps you to troubleshoot with leaders. And if you hadn't gone through those things, would you be able to really be equipped to help them push through those obstacles?
Yeah.
So, well, you've mentioned your strengths a couple times. Do you know your top 5 off the top of your head? I know I didn't prepare you with that. We all know you're an achiever.
Actually, and that's not number 1 even. Communication. Surprise, surprise, communication is number 1. Can you believe it? And I hated public speaking. So communication's number 1. My mom's a public speaker. I know she laughs at this all the time. It's woo, harmony, achiever, and competition. So woo is one I love, and I see it all the time. And it's actually been hard being online with woo, because woo really comes into play with face-to-face, like making friends everywhere you go kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that's in my mom's top 5 too.
Yeah. How do you see that your strengths have really helped you? Because I think it's easy too to compare and like, man, if I only had learner higher, this wouldn't have taken me so long. But looking at the strengths you do have, how has that complemented your business and helped you to achieve what you've done?
I think that's really key for people to build according to their strengths. And that's another place where we compare. If only I had that strength, if only I had that one, right, I would be in a better place. But um, if we really learn to appreciate the strengths we do have and see how that can play out in our business, you're going to be successful in that way, in a different way that I am or the person next to you. So for me, communication, when I discovered that, or when I had to step out and communicate and learn how to teach and effectively teach, and I realized that this was a strength and I loved it. Um, and so that's really helped me teach classes, have effective classes that people find value in, and also communicate one-on-ones and be very clear about that. And I feel like that's gotten better over the years as I've honed it. Woo has helped me be a top enroller. Like literally, I just did this the other day. I was at a birthday party and it was live, yay! At a birthday party, and I met two ladies, and one, we were just talking, and she didn't seem super interested in essential oils, so we just kept talking about other things. The other lady was a nurse practitioner, super interested, and so now she's going to come to a class, and I was able to give her a sample. Like that I was just showing up, and I was like, I'm not going to talk about oils today. It's Sunday. I'm not going to talk about oils. It's impossible, right, ladies? It's impossible. But it's kind of, I'm always looking for the next person who's looking for me, and so this lady was really open, but I feel like that is woo, is really just being able to make connections quickly with people and invite them into an opportunity to learn in a way that isn't salesy. We're all worried about being salesy, but to really just be friends with somebody. So that's helped a lot. Harmony can turn into a people pleaser. So that one I kind of struggle with. I wrestle with harmony. I've had to address things, but I've had to grow in that area with addressing things that were hard to address, to keep peace, but not at any price, to actually just, talk about things in a mature way. And then, well, achiever and competition are kind of obvious. I mean, achiever and competition I also wrestle with those because I struggle to rest because of achiever and competition. You put the two together and you have a workaholic. So that's been quite the struggle for me to really just say it's okay to stop and not work right now and not work today and put boundaries around my time. But they certainly there's like this internal engine that it's hard for me to shut off. And so that's just something that I'm working on, with the strengths. They talk about balcony and basement. And so really trying to find where you can be in the balcony of that strength, but not let it overtake you like achiever can or competition can. So, but yeah, it definitely have played into my success, those strengths. So I just encourage people to find, if you haven't already taken that test, take the test and really learn about those strengths and how you can use them to be successful, because you're going to do it in a different way than I am, in a way that I can't, because I don't have that strength.
Yeah, that's a really important reminder.
Yeah.
So along with your strengths, what do you think are some key skills or habits? So things really a skill is something anyone can learn. A habit is something anyone can build. And again, it might look a little different from person to person, but things that you've developed that have helped you to be successful in those areas of key skills and habits.
I think I really feel like I still struggle with boundaries around my time. So I'm not like someone to be inspired by with regard to that. I tend to really just keep my calendar full. If I see that there aren't things on there, I really try to have classes on there. I really try to look for ways to educate my customers in a way that is beneficial to them. There's just a lot of ways we can do that. But yeah, definitely keeping things moving. You want to have things on your calendar within those hours that you've allotted to do your business, so you don't run out of your business doesn't slow down. So those income producing activities are super, super important. I'm much better at income producing activities than personal development, I have to admit. I know there are people that could train all day and read books all day. I'm not that person. I am the person that would rather create some income producing activity. So I would just encourage you to lean into that if that's a struggle. The contacting people, the teaching, the sharing, the building relationships. Those are habits. Those are skills, I guess, and even just natural things that I do that I feel like have helped me be successful for sure.
Yeah, and I think we've all seen that too. Those of us who know you or have watched your journey, that you're very consistent, and it's hard for you to quit, like you said, to set those boundaries, and just have that rest time. But you don't say quit. And I would say the key word that I would describe you as is someone who has grit. And you're determined, and you just keep pushing. And yes, you get discouraged, and you have those times when people say no, or you get rejected, or something cancels, like anyone does. But you just go to the next person, and you keep your calendar full, and you're very, very consistent. I think that's a key, which I feel like when you've trained in person at retreats or different things, it's a light bulb moment for people, that they're like, oh, it isn't like she's going to give me some secret to how she's top and roller all the time. It's just doing more of the things, or talking to more people, right, than maybe I realized I needed to do. And you shared some numbers before too about how many people it took to contact, to get to the number of enrollments you had in a month. I don't remember what those were exactly, but I remember a lot of people were surprised.
It's really important. I think when people ask for my secrets, I'm like, I don't have secrets. I just follow directions. Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. That's kind of how I am. Don't make me read a book about it. Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So, but with the numbers game, like I've said to my builders too, because it is discouraging when you're reaching out to a lot of people and you're getting a lot of no's or no responses. But it's always a numbers game. I've mentioned before, I think I reached out to over 100 people to host a class, and I think I got 5 or 6 class hosts. So, keep that in mind. I've enrolled, I don't even know, 500-600 people or something like that along the way. And I think my list of people I haven't enrolled is the same as the people I have. So I still have a list of 500 or 600 people I've talked to that haven't enrolled. So that's important to know. It's not like everybody's just like, here's my money, or knocking on my door going, hey, I need oils, or calling me up every day and needing oils. It's literally, you are going out and you're looking for the people that want and need what you have. And you just got to move on when that next person doesn't recognize their need for it. Go to the next person, and you just got to keep doing that. It is a numbers game, and you have to just keep moving through the nodes. And so when we struggle with those feelings of rejection and insecurity, there's a lot of mind games we can play, but there's also good mindsets. Like, I think Laura Garcia said this about the cookie. Somebody said about the cookie, like when you're offering somebody a cookie, like you're offering them oils and they don't want it, and you think, why wouldn't they want the cookie? It's so good. But they're not rejecting you. They're saying, I don't want the cookie, or I don't want ketchup with my French fries, or whatever it is. It's not, I don't like you anymore. It's really what it is. I don't understand what you have and the value of what you have, and I don't believe in that yet. So, we just have to retrain our brains to think about that way and not get caught up in they don't like me or they're going to reject me. I had somebody who said this to me. She was like, I'm afraid to invite people into the business because I'm afraid they won't talk to me anymore. And I said, if you said to somebody, I would love to partner with you. You are so warm. You're so good with people. You just go after things. You have this great work ethic. You're so honest. And I would love to partner with you. I just really like you. Would you be open to learning about the business? I said, how would you feel if I said that to you? Would you not talk to me? And she's like, no, I'd feel really good. I said, exactly. So, I think sometimes we get into our own brains and we we worried about that rejection too much. We have to really push through that and just move on when they don't recognize the value of what we have. But it is definitely a thing that I still have to walk through. I have not, until Jesus comes, I don't think I'll overcome that completely. So.
Yeah, and I love that you're so humble about it, too. Don't lose that.
No.
One thing that I know a lot of people ask whenever they hear you talk, now, this would be hard for somebody who maybe doesn't have woo, But even for those people who don't have woo, we often hear, okay, but how do you meet that many people? You were talking about 1,200 people on your list of people you've talked to, and maybe half of them or less have enrolled. But where, because you were pretty new to Texas still, where did you meet people? How did you grow your circle and network to that point in the area where you are, not having lived there very long?
Yeah, that's a really good question because I know when people come into the business, they feel a lot of times I hear that as a fear. I don't know enough people. I mean, even class hosts say that. I don't know enough people. Um, so just for background's sake, I moved to Texas in 2013, started oils in 2014 as a customer business in 2015. So I was brand new to Texas, didn't have a warm market here really, except some acquaintances I'd been meeting through like MOPS groups in church. And for those that are kind of like fearful to get out of your comfort zone, I was there. Like I was really I was in a hard place. I had been burned by friends, by my ex-husband. And so I was really coming out of this really place of rejection when I first moved to Texas. And I remember the Lord telling me, you can either be intentional or you could be lonely. It was like almost like it wasn't audible, but man, it was very clear in my heart to this day. I remember that thought, and I was like, well, I'm going to be intentional. And it wasn't, oils didn't come into my life yet. I had to go through that stuff first in a different way. And so when oils came into my life and when I decided to do the business, I just started inviting the people that I knew that I didn't really know. I mean, they were just acquaintances from church. One of them is now 5 years later is actually a business builder, and she's been a customer for 5 years. I sampled her a little bit of On Guard. She had a sinus infection, and anyway, so it was tremendous for her. And I just started doing that, inviting anybody I knew to come to church. I remember looking in the church directory and inviting people. But honestly, it wasn't until maybe 6 or 7 months in, because again, huge learning curve here. Somebody may have told me this, but I didn't know. So like, I didn't really have a mentor yet. I wasn't doing any of that type of training and things. So if your upline's not local, you don't know a lot of people, you're really scared of a lot of things, it's okay. You can still do this. I remember someone saying, I think somebody was doing a text blast to get class hosts. And I think it was on my way to the Elite Retreat, Crystal, my first one. And we were just texting people asking them to host a class. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, let me do this. So I got some class hosts. It wasn't very many, but it really propelled that cycle. So I was able to get class hosts, and then I learned about scheduling classes from classes. And I started practicing that. Like we're not really good at everything usually when we first start. So getting classes from classes is huge, especially if you don't have a warm market. That is the one thing, that and finding business builders, that's really going to help you get out of your warm market. So when that happened, somebody asked me the other day, how did you meet this person? And I couldn't remember. It was like 7 people back. Oh, came to this class, this class, this class. So that's really how you grow your business, is just getting classes from classes, referrals. That's really key. So I didn't have a warm market here in Texas at all. So you can do that if you don't.
Yeah. And that's what I tell people too. The most important thing is get a class booked, but then get a class or 2 booked from every class, and you will grow your network.
Yeah,
that was how I did it too. So, all right. So along the way, you realized that you wanted that transition from being the top enroller and trip winner all the time to really mastering the duplication part of this and helping your builders experience big wins like that. So what did you shift to kind of start making that transition? Because I know you expressed it several times. You're like, I need to like crack that code or figure out how to transition into that. How did that start to happen for you, and what's that like now?
So, for a long time, I was really focused on enrolling. It was really doing the Prime Wellness Club competition that I'd known before that I needed to really shift my mindset to focusing on finding business builders. And I had some, I did have some, but I wasn't really focused on looking for more. I wasn't really good about supporting them. I didn't really have good systems, I guess. And so Prime Wellness Club was all about enrollments, like personal enrollments. It was crazy. It was 12 months of running around, and I was running around. I wasn't doing online. I don't know why I wasn't. I could have been. For 12 months, meeting people, teaching all these classes. I was insanely overexhausted and on a hamster wheel. So I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but like you feel like you're just in the same place and you're not moving forward. You're the same rank, your income looks the same, and you're like, what is happening? And so before Prime Wellness Club, I created an avatar, that's like of your ideal builder. So like, who's your ideal builder, their characteristics, their pain points, all of that. And that really helped me recognize them when they came along and starting to go, I don't want to be the top enroller anymore. Doing 38 wellness consultations while you're still enrolling more people is like, so I want to inspire other people to do this and really, really grow, so you have your business builder, and then you really need, once you have that avatar and the courage to invite them into opportunity. It's like I said, a lot of people are afraid of the no, or they're afraid of the yes. Well, what if they say yes? Now I don't know how to support them. So also around that time, I spoke with Tanya actually, and we talked about the vision casting. I really hooked into Elise's daily mentor calls. And so I felt like I had a system too. So when I had business builders, I was able to plug them into that system. And what's really cool is even if they're brand new and they're like, oh my goodness, somebody wants to do the business, now what do? They can plug their people into the system. And it just takes a lot of that weight off. So I started recognizing those people, inviting them into the business. We had, right around this time with the whole pandemic, I had a rock star builder come on board, and she just created this beautiful community with her team, and it seemed to like spark inspiration in the rest of the team. I don't know if you ever seen that happen, but all of a sudden you have this growth happen. It also, so I was feeling very lonely, feeling like I was kind of doing this on my own. I really had pulled back from offering support to my builders. I was getting feeling discouraged. And when you have somebody that comes on board and is like ready to roll, it pulls you back in there, and you're like, you know what, it's time for me to come back here and really provide support to the people that need me, that want this, And so one by one, we had more people come on board. It was like this, it kind of exploded. I also, learning how to inspire your builders. I always felt like I don't know how to inspire people. I think we actually can be more inspirational than we realize, but I didn't really know what that looked like or how to do that. But I thought if I could just at least give them systems so they know what to do, and then we can at least just have mentor calls and just be there as a support for these people. And then the month that I hit Diamond was really funny because I actually felt like it was a week before the end of the month. And by the way, guys, I was not planning on it. I was like, no, it's not going to happen this month. I'm just going to wait. And Angela was like, you probably could. And I was like, Angela, I've just been pushing for 16 months because I did Diamond Club right after Prime Wellness. I was like, I don't want to do this. But instead of so this is a complete shift. So instead of me going out there and enrolling 500 people to, get to Diamond, I just reached out to the builders and I said, here's an incentive, for you to hit this rank. Here's an incentive, and I offered them different incentives. And they were so pumped by that they went and they were on fire. I was like, oh my goodness, this is this is so cool. So 2 days before I hit Diamond, I was at the pool. I was like, I'm going to hit Diamond tomorrow. I just knew. And I was able to be by the pool. I wasn't like, how it is when you're at the end of the month, you're trying to get that rank. But I just knew it was going to happen. And I was just like, hey guys, this is the incentive. And I kept seeing that volume go up and up, and they were excited about it. Everybody was excited. I even brought 4 new premiers with me through some incentivizing with them too, which is a huge extra bonus on top of that. So I feel like inspiring, providing leadership, providing systems, giving people a way to succeed is huge, and just stepping back from being the one that has to or the mindset of I have to be the one to do this. And that's kind of in my life. My husband will say this too. Like, I have to be the one to do this, or it won't get done. And we got to let go of that. Like, we have to really just believe in the potential of the people we're working with, because they have huge potential. Like, I have incredible people on my team with huge potential, and we need to really help them believe in themselves. So just inspiring them to do it for themselves. It's hard when you build somebody to a rank, or when you help to build somebody to a rank, it is kind of hard for them to own it. So it's better if we can find a way to help them own it, and they feel like I did this, so that's really key. That's what I found to be like, it was just a home run that month when it just something clicked, and it shifted everything. So it's been really amazing.
That is awesome. And I know everyone is super inspired by that. That was such a cool story, and just picturing you at the pool and inspiring people and incentivizing them to go out and do it. And I think what you did, without maybe even realizing it fully at the time, was you instilled them with belief. You're like, I know you can do this, and here's something I'm going to give you when it happens, and go do it. Like, I've taught you the things, and if you have the drive, you'll do it, and that you instilled the belief that you believed in them. And what came to mind is, a lot of us on here are moms. It's just like with our kids, sometimes they're just growing up and we kind of forget, oh, they're totally capable of doing this thing that I keep doing for them. Maybe it's a control issue. Maybe it's, I'm just not fully realizing their potential. But yeah, that's been for me some of the things I've had to do just as a mom, to realize you don't need me to do this for you. And it's actually going to be way more empowering if I just show you the way, and then sit back and let you do it yourself. And even if it means kind of stumbling along the way, it's better that you, like you said, you learn more from the mistakes sometimes. And I'd rather you do that when I'm here to kind of help and oversee and be here for you, versus later on when you're, on your own as a child. But
Yeah.
with your builders too, it's very, very similar to that. You instill belief, and you're there to help troubleshoot, and you show them the way and teach them the system and the things that they need to do. And it's so cool to see everybody on your team just like taking off at the same time. But it's like you said, that spark, somebody doing the things and showing the way and going, I'm going to be the new builder who gets to such and such place, or I'm going to start leading my own trainings and classes and doing my things for my own team. And other people go, whoa, I could do that too. And more people are attracted to that energy and that belief.
Yeah.
And it starts just popping, like that popcorn analogy, right? With like the
Yes.
Jiffy Pop on the stove top. Like, is this
Yeah.
ever going to pop, right? We've heard that analogy a lot in this business. And then all of a sudden one goes off and they all start going. It's a beautiful thing to watch. But it was years of consistent work, years of thinking, this is not growing where I thought it would be in the amount of time I thought it would take. Is this ever going to happen? That you put in before, like you said, that time when not everyone could see what was going on behind the scenes. So, and I know that you still have struggles now. We all do. I think it's good to be vulnerable and transparent, and kind of sharing that with people, that it's not like because we're Diamond, we've arrived and we no longer struggle. So if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about what are some of those things that you still struggle with, I think that can really inspire people too.
I think, the the struggles are, it's funny because the struggles are kind of the same. Like, I still feel fear of rejection. I still at times feel, am I adequate? Am I a good leader? Am I good enough? Um, just I know the things that I'm not good at, and just I think what happens is, this is the thing I think about overcoming, is as you overcome those things in your life, you have a history of overcoming. So you can go, okay, I overcame this before, I can overcome this again. And I really feel like um, you have to almost believe it before you believe it. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I remember when I had to stand in front of a group of people for the first time and teach a class. So I teach at some community centers. I'd been years teaching classes before then, so I did have some practice. And I remember them handing me the mic and the PowerPoint clicker. I'd done everything in people's homes at that point. I was like, okay, this is getting real. and there's 30 or more people in the room, 30 to 50 people. And I almost felt like there was this putting on of a coat. That's what it felt like to me, putting on a coat of confidence. And I know we say fake it till you make it, and maybe that's kind of the same idea, but it was like, it felt almost physical, like putting on this belief, this confidence that you can do it, even if I felt scared inside. And that comes with a history of overcoming. And so when I first started, I didn't have that history yet of overcoming. And it's really just, it's faith. You have to take the step of faith. And faith is, believing what we don't see yet, right? So it's evidence of things not seen. So you're taking a step of faith, even though you don't see this happen yet. Then every time you take that little step of faith, you're like, oh, okay, I can take another little baby step. And so I just really encourage people to do that, wherever the places are that you're feeling stuck or you have that fear, because I think it's always fear that holds us back, to take that step of faith, that baby step into the fear and not away from the fear. So I still have that, but I do, the history of overcoming is really key for getting through that. And then rest is definitely a struggle. Rest is a huge struggle, but I'm getting better at it. I went to the beach. Thank God one of my builders is an arranger. She likes to arrange us. So she'll say, hey, you want to go to the beach on Saturday? I'm like, yeah, what can I do to make that happen? So she gets me, out of, went to the beach and did something the other day. So I'm trying to really kind of put boundaries around my time and also really take time to rest, because I found that when I didn't do that, I burned out and I couldn't really serve anybody well. So that's definitely a struggle, still working on it. I think that's just my personality. I was like that before dōTERRA. And I get a lot of work done, but sometimes I don't get a lot of rest done. So, if you're like me, you really want to set aside time for rest for sure, if you're like that.
Yeah, that is really great advice. So many amazing nuggets all throughout this. I know people are going to take away different things, but everyone's going to have some actionable steps and some inspiration to act on. And just kind of to close us out, if you had one piece of advice or encouragement to offer other builders, you've already offered a lot, but if you had something to kind of close with that could be inspiring, they're already inspired by you and your story, but maybe just one more piece of advice or encouragement to those who have been, maybe they're new, maybe they've been building for a while and they've been discouraged and haven't overcome as many obstacles and things as you have. How would you encourage them?
2 words, don't quit. Like, really, whatever happens, if I can do this, I feel like anybody can. That's really how I feel. I mean, I have a lot of obstacles. And so, I saw this saying someplace where it said, the smartest thing I ever did was not give up. And that resonated so much with me. And I get a little teary, like I think about it, because that's really, teary. And then I get teary. That's really the truth is, like you said, Crystal, having the grit, the dedication just to keep going. That's not an easy thing, but that's the thing that's really going to get you to the next place and really help you succeed. The other one was, and you guys have probably seen this, but I love it. A diamond is just a chunk of coal that did well under pressure. And, we see the shiny diamond, but actually we don't see the pressure. We don't see the struggle, to get there. And I feel like that chunk of coal. Like, I feel like when I started, my mom's going to get teary too. Sorry, Mom. I feel like when I started, I look back and I feel like this just chunk of coal with I was not refined, didn't have any experience, didn't know people, no influence. And, man, the work, that work of refining that chunk of coal it was hard, but it was so worth it. And the freedom that I feel now in so many areas of my life, I feel like this was definitely God's work in me for more than dōTERRA even, has been, I still am in awe of it. I still walk away from a community center where I teach people and they loved my class and I love doing it. And I'm like, who is this person? you know? So I want everybody to feel that way about themselves, you know, to go from that feeling of that chunk of coal to like, wow, I became a shiny diamond. And it was through a lot of, you know, some struggles and things like that. So really, you know, cling to your sisters in doTERRA, your mentors, the people that I'm happy to chat with you too and encourage you, but really just don't quit. That's the one thing is just don't quit. You'll get there eventually. Okay, you'll get there eventually. It took me longer than I thought, but I got there, you know, and so anybody else can too.
Wow, that is beautiful. You made me get teary too. You're such a beautiful person and leader, and I know it's years of growth, just like any of us who succeed and reach a goal. But I really think this is going to build a lot of people's belief, and that is crucial. You have to have that belief if you're really going to persevere and not quit. So thank you for sharing your belief and some great stories with us, some great inspiration. I am super appreciative. I will be sharing this recording so you can all share it with your team members and refer back to it because yeah, you are so inspiring. We're getting comments coming in. This is so relatable, so inspiring, and everyone is appreciative. So thank you so much, Stephanie. And again, congratulations. What an
Thank
awesome
you.
achievement. We know we're going to continue to see achievements from you and even be more inspired by you in the future. So we look forward to
Thank
it.
you. Thank you, Crystal. It's a huge opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I see the chats coming in. Thank you so much, ladies. Like I really wanted this to be super inspiring for everybody. So go after it. Don't quit. And if you need help, reach out.
Absolutely. Perfect ending. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.